I think that identity is what you see yourself as, and I identify myself as awesome.
I believe identity is who you are. It comes from where you were born, who raised you, and your cultural area, and where you just grew up. And I identify myself as not really culturally, because we're not all one culture, we're a mixture of cultures. I identify myself as just my family. Whatever I learned from my family is me.
I believe that identity is where you're from, who your family is, what you've learned, and who you've associated with. I identify myself as an Irish immigrant from like 3 generations back who loves the Central Valley and is probably going to live here the rest of his life.
Okay, for me, identity is something that, I don't know, it's a defining quality in someone. It's when you, you know, say someone's nice or something like that, that's their identity. They can associate with that trait. I personally like to identify with being a friend. I like to give people my time and my attention, and that's something a lot of people I've noticed don't do. So that's what I like to identify with.
I define identity as where you come from and your religion, and my identity is Christian.
If I had to define identity, I'd have to say not only encompasses like where you come from, like your religion, your ethnicity, your culture, your family and whatnot. I think something beyond that is like your personal experience. And I think for me, I identify as someone like as a people pleaser, you know, like if someone else is happy, I'll be happy too. So in a way, identity is a mesh of a lot of things. It's from where you come from and your personal experiences, your emotions, and yeah.
I view the definition of identity as being the way you want other people to see you, like the way you want to be maybe remembered as, the type of person you are, or your personality, or like things that are important to you in general. And I would identify myself by my religion, and my personality definitely being a Christian, and just in general, that's how I want to be remembered.
In my own words, identity is how we are related biologically, meaning that, well, we are all humans, so there is only one race, and that's human. So there is no different races or cultural backgrounds, and since we don't have different races and different cultural backgrounds, there's no conflict between our differences, and that is why I identify us as human.
Identity is what makes you different from other people. It makes you unique, and I identify myself as a hermit.
I define identity as who you are as a person, and I identify myself as being an agnostic, a vegetarian, and just everything that makes up myself.
Okay, so identity to me is just describing who you are, and it makes up kind of your, I don't know, your essence of being, I guess. It's how people see you and how you see yourself. And I think personality has a lot to do with your identity and how you act, because, you know, like how you act with other people and who you are is kind of how your personality is portrayed. So that's what I see identity as.
I think identity is based on all aspects of yourself, like race, background, and all the experiences that you've experienced in life. And I identify myself as an American-born Chinese, and everything I've learned from my friends and family.
So I would define identity by the self, and how do I identify myself? I wouldn't say it's one specific variable. There's a theory called intersectionality. I don't know if you're familiar with it, but it pretty much says that People are not cannot be simply defined by one variable. It's lots of variables interacting with each other. So, does that make sense?
Identity is who we consider ourselves as and how it affects our behaviors around others and the experiences that help forms who we are. And I consider myself a daughter, a student, a sister, and a friend, and it makes me, I don't know, who we are. Can you cut that?
I guess identity is just who you perceive yourself to be, not what other people perceive of you. It's what you choose to do, not what people choose to do for you. It's all about you. It's not about anyone else. It's how you think you are and your place in the world. What was the second question again?
How do you identify yourself?
Identify myself? I identify myself as a possibly scary person who is actually a teddy bear at heart and who loves lacrosse and theater a little too much, but wants everyone to love him.